do you ever like dream that you're playing for UCLA again? Do you ever wake up one morning and go, oh, you're back in uniform for UCLA? Never once. Never once.
Never once, no.
So, okay. And so your tenure playing football for UCLA began, did you beat Tom Osborne in your first career win or was Tom Osborne not there
I didn't
yet?
beat Coach Osborne. I was on a team that defeated his team, you know.
Okay.
But I look at, that's not what I'm saying. Just Rich as a kid, I mean, that's all I dreamed about is being able to strap on a headgear and walk out there in the Coliseum one day. You know, my dad was a broadcaster, and I would spend Sundays sometimes at Ram games, running copy up and down from the press box, you know, to the basement where the printer was.
Sure.
And I used to look at that tunnel that the players came out of and said, wow, wouldn't it be something one day to come out of that tunnel, you know, wearing a uniform. That was it. That was really a dream.
And did your dad display the Heisman Trophy in the house? Was it somewhere?
Display it. He had a desk that he always had, and in his den, he had that trophy there on the desk. It was also next to the Maxwell, you know, and some others.
Yes.
But I just remember as a kid, you know, and you had to reach across the desk because it was on an upper shelf, but you couldn't get to it physically without leaning across to grab it. And I remember trying to grab both legs and lift it.
Of the Heisman Trophy?
As a kid. And it didn't budge. It's a heavy trophy. I mean, he used to tell a story about when he was awarded the trophy, how he took it and handed it right to his mother, who was up there with him, and it about put her through the floor.
This was the 1940?
1940.
1940 Heisman Trophy. He was University of Michigan.
Yes.
Your dad's a legend on that campus.
Yeah, he is.
He certainly
is.
He certainly is, and his name gets mentioned. And you know, and obviously, when you talk about great quarterbacks in the history of University of Michigan, with Tom Brady being there, and hopefully the new kid that they just are going to get signed in the next couple of weeks will be part of that legacy. Your dad is always mentioned in that regard. So he was one who inspired you to say, "Hey, maybe I could come and play for."
He never talked about it, Rich. He didn't. It wasn't something he woke up in the morning thinking about, and he believed that if you wanted something or or worked at something, you needed to have that burn inside you, individually.
Yes.
And he didn't talk about it much. I wish he had. I'd know more.
So you were the UCLA quarterback 72, 73, and 74, or just 72, 73?
2 and 3. I came out of junior college.
So what was it like being the University of California, Los Angeles?
Wow.
Pardon me. Sorry.
You can't make that mistake very often.
The UCLA quarterback. What was it like being the UCLA quarterback at the time when Wooden is doing his thing with everybody on the basketball side of things?
You know, I would, the locker room for football was right across from Pauley Pavilion.
Yes.
And I used to, I was an early out because I was a quarterback, and I also held on field goals and stuff. So I would always need to get out there early, and part of that was getting dressed, and I'd always walk across from the locker room and sit in the top part of Pauley to put my shoes on every day. And every day on the court with one ball boy was Coach Wooden in a pair of sweats, in a Letterman jacket, doing set shots from around the key. Pop, 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 pop. Ball boy kicking the ball back out to him. To him.
You're watching John Wooden shoot hoops.
I sure was, every day.
Whoa.
How was his shot?
Like you'd think, like an All-American from Indiana. I remember another day, Bill Walton came down. I heard him because Bill always rode a bicycle on campus, and he had a 10-speed with the seat like jacked out of Bolivia. It was so high, right? And he would carry that down the steps into Pauley, and he'd walk it across the edge of the floor and then go to the locker room with it. But there he was. He came down, and there was Coach Wooden shooting. He never looked at him. Bill took it around the perimeter, and as he went by, you could hear Coach say it. He said it very calmly, but the acoustics inside Pauley. Yeah. He said, "Bill, get a haircut," right? and Bill just didn't say a word. Picked that bike up, went right back up the stairs, and probably drove down to the village to get a haircut.
You would hear John Wooden tell Bill Walton to cut his hair.
Get a haircut. That's it. Because there was a story about that. There was a story about his senior year, and I knew this because I played with his brother Bruce, and Bill apparently went to him and said, "Look, Coach, I've been here for 3 years, and at the time it was Vietnam and all that, and he had a little bit of a growth of a beard, and his hair was a little longer, and he said, you've been told us it's important to speak up for what we believe in, and this growth I have a little bit on my face, my hair, it's a statement of how I feel, and my stance on." And he said, "Bill, I admire you telling me this. I admire your stance and what you think, what you believe, what you feel in your heart, and we're going to miss you." And he got another haircut. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Great stories, Mark. Great stories. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.